Hey guys, welcome to Lex's Lounge. How's it going? Well, I wanted today to talk a little bit about this whole phenomenon we've got of mass shootings and mass killings and all those other kinds of incidents, because I find that right now we're talking a whole lot about gun control, and hey, that's a good conversation to have. I certainly do think that the U.S. needs more gun control. I can say as a Canadian, gun control has certainly helped up here, but I am kind of wondering more about the broad aspect of the whole terrorism problem. Like, why is it that we have folks more and more often who are willing to grab a vehicle and run over people in their community, open fire on their community, all those kind of things? And when I think about that stuff, it always seems to come back to a couple things. Number one, this is a relatively recent phenomenon, this phenomenon of mass killings and mass shootings. I mean, in the context of like several hundred years, it's a very recent phenomenon. And for quite a while, humans have been able to make, bombs. So it's an odd thing. I think what it comes down to, in my opinion, is the internet. Because let's say you are a person who's already lonely and lacking community. Well, the internet gives you an opportunity to find whatever community you want to find, even if it's a negative community. Like before, if you had somebody who was an extremist or prone to kind of radical ideas, the good thing was is that they were unlikely to find anybody in the real world around them who would parrot those ideas back to them. Now, whatever idea you want to have, whatever school of thought you want to jump down the rabbit hole of, you can get far further down that school of thought because you can find a community of people who will agree with you and parrot back at you whatever it is you want to believe. And also because of the internet, people just don't need to connect with their local community as much, and it's completely possible for you to disappear within your internet community. And that becomes your functional community, and your neighbors around you, your coworkers, your school friends, whatever, they really have no idea anymore what's going on in your life and what you're all about. And meanwhile, you could be wandering down this really extremist rabbit hole, and one day you can explode in case the authorities don't stumble onto you. I keep running back to the same example in my head whenever people talk about terrorism. One day I threw a party and this fellow showed up, and he was a completely normal guy. Have I told you guys this story before? I almost feel like I have. In any case, this story fascinates me. I threw this party, and this completely normal guy shows up. He's a Caucasian Canadian, 20 something guy in a hockey jersey, like a really typical fellow. And I look at him, and I'm talking to him, and then he goes off about this period where he was into this weird extremist ideology, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he shows me his driver's license picture, and it's him, and it's he's got like a beard, and he's got the religious cap on, and he's got the robe, the whole shebang, like exactly how you imagine an extremist Islamic terrorist. Like, he's got that look down pat. Looks nothing like the guy in front of me. And he goes, yeah, one time I went through this period where I was visiting extremist websites and I had no friends and I was depressed, yada, yada, yada. I was prone to possibly do something, except one day the police knocked on my door and said, hey, just so you know, we're aware of the kind of stuff you've been into online and what you've been saying and on social media and that kind of thing. So we just want to let you know we kind of got an eye on you. And you know what? That actually turned that guy around. He stopped going to the websites. He stopped with the kind of activity he was doing, and now he looks back on it as like, wow, that was like a weird period where I was sad and lonely and depressed and went into this kind of weird, secluded world. So that's what I think is going on with all of these mass killings in the world. I mean, yeah, the gun control debate is a part of it and it's very important, but there's a bigger debate to be had. It's about how technology and urbanization and a few other factors have really caused us to become disconnected with our functional community and how that's been negative. So, anyway, food for thought today. That's all I had for you guys. Subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll catch you next time on Lex's Lounge.